Alright. Hopefully not gonna be good with pronunciation, but Runas, Gloriosas, Directrices, the Metáforas. Symbols, metaphors, and literature labyrinth. She wanders through. The adventure never ends. So we're going to Recoleta's story, and we still have 2 days. So hopefully we finish it today. I was told by uh, Chile that what almost around 2 hours. So we'll see. Editor of Genius, Part 1. This book is dedicated to Maria. They're at the school? Oh, publishing house. A man hurries through a hallway, a folder tucked under his arm, and 2 cups of coffee clutched in his hands. He turns the corner and collides head on with a contributor. A booklet falls to the ground. Please be a little more careful, sir. Huh? It's you, Tommy! Here to beg Miss Hunting to publish your ever unnoticed expressionist literature again. Are we?
Goodbye.
I don't have time to argue with you today. I need to show this to Miss Hunting. Thomas picks up a fallen booklet and strides by without a second glance. Was it there for the pronunciation that I skipped? The H.A. Publishing House at the end of the third floor corridor, in the office on the left. Thomas, his movement brisk, takes 2 familiar turns before pushing open the glass door.
I'm sorry.
Miss Hunting, I know I'm a few minutes late, but at least the coffee hasn't gone cold. Anyway, before we discuss my publication, you simply have to take a look at this. Movie posters are plastered on the wall between bookshelves, holding countless great literature work. The air is thick with the scent of coffee and ink. No rush. Have a seat, Mr. Thomas, and thank you for the coffee. Actually, you're already 8 minutes late, but that doesn't matter. I looked over your latest revisions. I think putting aside 30 minutes of this meeting was a little optimistic.
Which means...
It's good to go? Then we can just... First of all, Mr. Thomas, your work doesn't meet the publishing standards. And second, you're refusing to cooperate with me. Not only have you kept some line I marked for deletion, but you snuck in a few extra sentences. Now, let's use the remaining 20 minutes to discuss something unrelated to the manuscript. How about the recently released film, The Annual River Murder? I believe you could learn a great deal about storytelling from it. Thomas concedes under the editor's relentless barrage. His enthusiasm doused as if by a bucket of cold water. Any argument he prepares is now left unsaid.
I see.
Okay. It's really as strict as ever, Miss Hunting. But I can't give up on my work. It's the only way I can break free from my mind. I had to find a way to get it published. Then, I wish you luck. By the way, the director of the murder sent me a few tickets. I think you should take one and go see it.
Look at this.
I want to take a look at this first. The man gently placed the booklet he's holding under his arms on top of the movie ticket Hunting had just placed on the desk. And why should I look at it? I scheduled you last so I wouldn't run overtime, you know.
Listen.
Guess who I came across on the way here? What? You ran into your idol, Franz Kafka? Thomas is well used to just such these.
Here's the case.
There's a messy-haired girl working at a cafe. Whenever she has a free moment, she pulls out a thick stack of booklets and eagerly hands them out to any customer who seems interested. But the strange thing was there was no publisher, no category, no recommendation, not even a price printed on it.
Wow.
I thought it was a hotel flyer, or a travel brochure, or a university club ad, or something, but to my surprise, it's a short story. So, is it any good?
I think that.
It has more special than good.
Matter what?
Please just read it. It won't take you 10 minutes. In less than 10,000 words, I managed to create something magical. Something totally unique. It's like a literary demon leapt out of Pandora's box and tried to mimic human language for the first time. The exclusive metaphor, the later structures, good grief. I can hardly believe it was written by someone so young. Let me take a look. For a time, there is no sound but the hum of a fan and the faint crackling of burning tobacco. The minutes tick by, and a scratchy pencil joins the chorus. At first gently and steadily, and then growing harder and most hastily. At some point, the lead snaps with a crisp crack. Mr. Thomas, I have a request. Can you tell the sleepwalking writer to meet me here before 6? She's quite remarkable. This thing could turn the world upside down. I told you so. I met her outside that cafe on the corner. If we're lucky, she'd still be there. The young writer strides in, a box at the cafe, special honey poached quiche pie in her hands. Miss Hunting, how exhilarating that you asked me by name. I knew that handing out my work for free would eventually pay off. Hearing her own name, the editor looks up, surprised. Oh, you know me?
We met in Guadalajara.
I saw you at the booth at the HA Publishing House. Later, a writer friend of mine told me that you were the golden signature of the HA Publishing House, especially skilled at helping authors rise to fame and even getting their work adapted to film. If I'd known that back then, I sure would have talked a little more, and I might even have had a few novels published right now. Well, better late than never. Hold on. When did I say I was going to help you publish a novel?
Huh?
Isn't that why I'm here? After all, you said let's bring in that little genius who could turn the world upside down. Did Thomas put it that way? Good grief. No wonder his writing is so flowery. Then, why am I here exactly? Hunting walks to the window, pushes it open, and lights a cigarette. Recoleta notes how impeccable dressed she is. The noise of the traffic outside makes her voice sound distant. Give up writing.
I beg your pardon?
She can hardly believe her ears. You're too obsessed with the purity of literature. Your work has no place in the 90s. It's all about film now. Listen. If I could send you back 30 years to the gun-grin Latin American, I would. At least then, you would have a chance. Hunting sends his puff of smoke out the window and taps her knuckles lightly on the desk. She fixes Recoleta with a gaze of a strict teacher. Do you have a clear vision of your work? Any carefully structured or daringly published ideas in your mind? My vision is crystal clear. I want people to talk about visceral realism again, to capture the fleeting and make it eternal, just like the great writers of the 60s. Hunting's eyes, Recoleta, a complex smile appearing in the corner of her mouth. She stubs out the cigarette and sits back down at her desk. Let me rephrase that. You want to write good work that readers can understand, right?
That's right, Miss Hunting.
But I think it's difficult to balance that with literature depth. No need to get ahead of yourself. Sit down. I read your story. Hunting's hands over the booklet Recoleta's eyes are immediately drawn to her revision covering its pages. Under their homeland sky, the shadow of the cowhands loom larger than their bodies. This line this line isn't bad, quite vivid actually.
Oh,
Hmm?
yes.
And after that, the cowboy meets a cowhand without a shadow, not realizing that the cowhand's shadow is actually his own. When the sun sets, their silhouette stretches into a great beast along the mountain ridge, and they wave their whips to drive the non-existent cattle. This part feels redundant. Besides, how would the readers know that the cattle is a metaphor?
Okay.
Welcome to Nabby. How's your day? Still at work? Okay, but planting a seed of doubt here allows for a wonderful moment of realization at the story's climax. Now, look here at this line. These cattle never lowers their head to graze. They'll chase the stars until they drag their cowhand's soul along with them. No one should dream of returning home. The land there will bite and bite at you until you can never leave. Why did you write that? I meant write this.
It's a metaphor too, like the cattle herd.
Oh, nice. Story's gonna be pretty good. We just started. So we just started Recoleta's side story. So this will be the last one until the next update in, what, 2 days? It's a metaphor too, like the cattle herd. I'm not questioning the sentence itself. It has style, but where's your team? This is clearly a story about protagonists returning to their homeland after many years, exploring magical realism through the unfamiliar. So why, by page 5, am I only seeing cowhands and cattle?
I understand what you're saying, but these are important elements of the novel. They'll all come into play later on.
The cowhands look exactly like the protagonist when he was a child. Actually, he's a phantom of the protagonist's childhood, but the protagonist doesn't recognize him. Alright, I suppose there's some interest there, but how am I supposed to know that? Let's flip ahead to here. Page 37. Look, little genius. You took 37 whole pages just to tell the readers that the cowhands from page 5 is a mirrored symbol. Oh, perhaps you're right. I really do need to adjust the structure. Literature isn't the place to act out your private dreamscape. Do you think imagination alone will win over your readers? Here's my suggestion. You're still young and you have potential, so why don't you try studying screenwriting? Recoleta looks utterly confused.
I don't understand.
What does screenwriting have to do with literature? Every time I try to watch a film, I end up falling asleep before the end. It's just a suggestion. Though I understand, a rather extreme one. I just want you to stop underestimating the importance of storytelling. The conversation continues beyond the setting of the sun. Even so, the true marathon has only just begun. By the time Recoleta lifts her dizzy head, the clock has already hit 8:15. Oh, it's so late. Sorry for taking up so much of your time, but what a thrilling literature discussion. Thank you. Hunter rubs the corner of her eyes with her thumb and forefinger, leaning back into her chair, exhausted. She has to admit, her expression of Recoleta has changed. Don't worry about it. It's been my pleasure to meet a writer as inconvenient as you. Wait, unconventional as you. Phew, alright. That's it for today. Go home and think about these 3 questions. First, why does the cowboy return home? Second, why does he meet the bubble-blowing cowhand? Third, why do the characters know things that even the author doesn't?
Does that mean...
Recoleta's fatigue vanishes in an instant. This is true, unavailable advice, not just a back and forth from a few friends. This is the guidance of a professional editor. So if I revise my novel according to your suggestion and come back, does that mean I have a chance at publication? That depends on how well you revise it. I'm not making any guarantee. I just need 2 weeks. No, 1 week. I'll bring you a complete reworked version. If possible, I prefer you make an appointment at the front desk next time you come. At least let me know you'll be there here. She holds no high expectation for the young writer. After all, years of experience has taught her that writers have a tendency to exaggerate. Best of luck. I'm heading home to warm up with a hot drink.
Till next time, Miss Hunting. I'll most certainly be back. Believe you me.
That was almost, what, 20 minutes? Part 2. Cowboys and Coachmen. The setting sun casts a deep orange glow in the office, causing Hunting to squint. She sets down her penchant and leans back, exhausted. Every name on the reservation list on the cluttered desk before has been scratched out. All except for one. Alright, last appointment. Let's see, it's... Recoleta?
Yes, is it my turn?
Long time no see, Miss Hunting. Good afternoon. The office door creaks open, revealing a fluttering feather and half a pale face. The editor gave a sharp inhale before nearly sliding off her chair in a surprise. You, when did you get here? Never mind. That's not important. You're the last one today. Come in. Recoleta closes the door and confidently places her manuscript on the desk. Don't worry, this time I adjusted the pacing of the opening chapter. No more late explosion. Sigh. If only I could believe you. Alright, let's get started. Ahem. An undressed valley breeze brushes over Hunting's weary eyelids as Ricola brings her story.
The cowboy had never once considered going home. That was, until he met the coachman. Like him, the coachman cast no shadow behind him.
He boarded that battered carriage and embarked on a long journey, crossing mountains and rivers until finally he arrived home.
He surveyed that man, familiar yet strangely unfamiliar, and a chill crept up his spine.
Hunting quickly realized her eyelids had grown too heavy to lift. The air thickens, distorting at her surroundings dissolve in shadows and vanish into fog. Something's wrong. What's happening? So, does she get pulled into the story? Or is it like a dream now? These images, they're moving! Distant mountains begin to form in Hunting's mind. Wait, there's no need to give filming directions. When Hunting opens her eyes again, she and Recoleta are standing in a dense, foggy wilderness. The ground beneath them is dark and damp. What? What the hell place are we in? The fog is getting thicker, the camera pulled back. The ancient temple looms faintly in the distance.
Here we are. The Hell Place.
Wait, this is your story? I thought these scenes only exist in your mind. Of course they only exist in my mind. Everything is fiction. But this is the first time I managed to bring a reader into the side of the world. Incredible, Miss Hunting. You truly are a great editor. Huh? Why do you say that? Meaningless compliment doesn't exactly explain all this. Emboldened by the spirit of adventure, Recoleta brushes off her editor's concern. Wait, but this is your story we're in, so we can't leave whenever we want, can we? Oh no, Miss Hunting. This story isn't mine at all. It belongs to the cowboy and the coachman. Then, where did they go? I think I think when we entered the story, we took their place.
Let's not waste any more time. Let the great adventure begin.
Wait, so who's the cowboy and who's the coachman? Recoleta's voice carries an odd, unquestionable pride. Stop joking around, Recoleta. Can we get out now? Get out? Recoleta laughed so hard that tears started to well in her eyes. Our legendary adventures has only just begun. How can we just cut the tale short? How can we let the readers know the ending so soon? Of course, as the author, I can give you a hint. Inside this temple lies the secret core of the entire story. Come on, Miss Hunting, keep up! Hunting wants to say something, but somehow she feels an irresistible urge to step forward. Like a growing seed, a familiar yet long forgotten sensation arises within her. Wait, don't run too fast! She follows Recoleta into the mist. Soon, it becomes a fog so dense that it is difficult to see the path ahead. Hunting grabs Recoleta's arm, forcing her to stop. The scenery begins repeating. Wait, the scenery's been repeating. Haven't you noticed? We passed this same pillar at least 7 or 8 times. I can't see the way through all this fog. Let's just take a breath and take a minute to listen to unearthed voices. No, that's too abstract. Here, you need to keep the reader's attention. This giant pillar should be the story McGiven. Does that mean... And sure, we need to make this pillar a driving force. Let me think. Yes, you need to rewrite this part. The cowboy and the coachman discover something unusual about the pillar in the repeating temple. By touching its 4 sides in order, east, west, south, north, they finally escape the maze.
Oh, right. Let me see. East. West. South. And north.
Miss Hunting! Hunting jolts awake, a dull headache creeping across her forehead. Was all that just a dream? Did we come back? We never went anywhere. Did you fall asleep? No, forget it. Where were you in the story? The cowboy and the coachman just escaped the maze. They're about to head towards the ending. Alright, back to business. There are still quite a few things that need fixing in the earlier session. Didn't I mention that McGivern earlier? Yes, you told me to cut the whole listening to their inner voice scene, which you were actually the cowboy's whistle. Instead, I changed the way they escape the maze by interacting with the stone pillar. What do you mean? The pillar is just a pillar. It doesn't represent anything. Why does it have to be important? Exactly, it doesn't represent anything. That's the whole point. As Hitchcock once said, in crooked videos, it is almost always the necklace. In spy stories, it's almost always the paper. Take 1942 Casablanca, for example. The transfer paper in the film are as a classic MacGyver. They drive all the characters' action, but their actual detail don't matter to the audience. It's purely a narrative catalysis. Just like the Stone Pillar, it doesn't define the story's central theme. I always thought the term came from Rudyard Kipling's novels. So this is what it meant in film terminology. Interesting. Oh, I should take note. To sum it up, the most important information should always be embedded in the most critical lines. Otherwise, readers might skim right over them.
Fantastico! I've already thought up of a few ways to make it even better.
Hunting glances at the night sky at the window. Time has slipped away. Hold on, little genius. It's getting late. Let's rein in the inspiration for now. But it's Friday. If I don't get your feedback now, I have to wait until Monday before I can talk to you again. Which means I have two whole torturous days of staring at my unfinished ending. She literally clutches her chest with one hand. Hunting sighs, torn for a moment. After a brief pause, she speaks. Tomorrow night, after 8, I'll have some free time. I usually take some time to myself around then, but I could entertain a guest. Are you inviting me over? Of course, I got a stack of piping hot revisions just waiting for you to tuck into. It'll be all you can eat buffet. So, what you're saying is... Honestly, the novel has something special, but getting it published won't be easy. Even if everything goes smoothly, we need at least 6 months to finalize the manuscript. It might not even make next year's book fair. But what I do know is this. I can get your novel into the world, if you can finish on time. So what's this? Is it a puzzle stage if it's a different color? Okay. Complete rounds within 25 rounds. Wait, complete within 25 rounds. Recoleta must defeat the literature demon within the given round. At the start of each round, unreel 2 random pages. Okay. Wait, so... Matching pages in pair will deal 1 damage to the literature demon. Award the completed literature symbol from the pages and trigger the symbol's effect. Tap here to see how many pages of each type you have. Huh? Alright, I'm not sure what happened, but We won, I think. So we moved on. So part 4, Templo de la Metáfora. It's a cold winter night, but inside, the air feels warm and inviting. Hunting walks in, carrying an old glass pot filled with deep, dark liquid. Lemon slices, apple, oranges, cinnamon sticks. Maybe Mebeth will melt wine in a bit of a waste, but it doesn't have a satisfying richness to it. Oh, that actually sounds quite sophisticated. Maybe I can use that in my writing. Go ahead, I have to say, I do like to indulge in it from time to time. Oh, and sorry for the mess, I hope you don't mind. Not at all, in fact, it looks pretty tidy to me. This place is like a palace compared to the colored mess of books, notes, and clothing that fills her own cramped apartment. Sit whatever you like. The couch, the cushion, a chair. You can even take the floor if you want. Hunting perches at the edge of the bed, setting the glass pot down at the book stack nightstand. Right, there's something I need to talk to you about. You know why I suggested you learn some screenwriting, right? Don't you? To improve my narrative structure, right? Like how Hemingway, Wolfie, and Fritz Gerald all shared the same editor, Maxwell Perkins. No, you're giving me far too much credit, Recoleta. I'm nowhere near that level. At first, I didn't understand why young writers like you were so obsessed with literature. I want you to see for yourself why cinema has conquered the 90s, while literature is slowly losing traction. I want you to hit a wall and see with your own eyes the deadline of the literature world.
How could that be? The world of literature may falter for a time, but it'll never fade away, Miss Hunting.
It's like the trees in winter. Yes, they look like barrens for a moment, but then the spring comes. That's exactly why I write. The writers I admire are explorers, rebels, defiers. They never stop to wonder which way the tides of the time were turning.
Now that's a cause with real meaning behind it.
That definite spirit sustains a generation of writers, and in turn, those writers rebuild that very spirit. Now that's the cause with real meaning behind it. Alright, I admit there's a merit in sticking to your guns. But tell me this, do you truly understand today literature world, Recoleta? Even the great Walt Whitman said, even I myself often think I know little or nothing in my real life. How could we possibly claim to understand the state of literature today?
To me, writing is just as exhilarating as traveling around the world, or slipping into a blissful dream.
Ha! I heard that before. Writers love saying things like that. If that's how you see it, then... She recalls Recoleta's reckless determination in the Templo de la Metáfora. Something distant stirs inside her, like she's being swept by the old knitted sweater left unworn for years. Congrats on the catch. Sinisty! Never mind, it's nothing. Noticing Recoleta's eager expression, Hunting realized that it's time to get down to business. Alright, let's get to work before I finish the whole bottle. What happens in the second half of the story? Yes, as tiltating as this conference is, I like to get down to getting the ending right. Oh, and I listened to what you said. I studied some books on film and incorporated more screenplay style dialogue. Recoleta jumps up from the floor, handing over the freshly marked up pages. Oh, let's see. Last time The protagonists escape the fog-filled maze using their wits. Now, they're heading towards the temple's hidden chamber. The whistling stops. The cowboy and the coachman makes their way towards the light beyond the fog. But as the fog thickens, the sound around them fades. With every step, the world grew more and more unfamiliar. At last, they found the entrance. Inside the temple was covered in ancient ruins, its walls etched with unreadable symbols and paintings. An old man and a cowhand with his cow stood in the distance, as if waiting for them. The wind carries a whisper like an ancient poem through the fog. Hunting tilts her head. Listening to the faint whisper carries on the wind like an ancient poem. It is clear they have left behind the warmth and comfort of her home. And Miss Hunting, we're back in the story again. So we are. At least this time I was expecting it. What's with the parentheses? Are we just directing every motion of the dialect now? The secret core is obvious. It's perched atop the massive stone platform. The most important information should always be embedded in the most critical lines. Looks like you actually took my advice, Recoleta. Recoleta. Yes, we're so close to the core of the temple, the Metáphora. I can feel it. Alright, how do we reach it? See those two crows? When they meet strangers, they turn into ghosts. The worried-looking crows become an old man. He slumps in the shadows. The fleshly crow becomes a young cowhand, swinging his legs on a stone platform. Just as the story describes. Hello, travelers. The arrival was foretold, but passing through this fog will be no easy feat. At home isn't a home. It's a memory. A cow has wandered when it's lost its pasture, but it will always find its way home. Oh, there you. The one who set up everything in motion. Finally here. I waited a full century for this moment to come.
Here is the case.
If you wish to touch the core of the Templo de la Fro from Metáfora, you must first solve the riddle.
Bring it on. I love a challenge.
I cannot speak the riddle. The cowhand knows it, and even he won't just give it to you directly. It's all part of the metaphor. Please look at him. You will have to win him over first. Yes. You have to make me happy first. No. Why should I listen to you, old man? The boy claps his hand and lets out another long, drawn-out whistle. From the shadows, a cow emerges, a deep wisdom behind its eyes. Hello, big sister. This is a riddle. Only my cow can carry you up. No, you little rascal. It's not how it's supposed to work. Before the old man can finish, Recoleta Nimbles holds herself onto the cow's back. And hits the ground hard. See, it's not that easy. Recoleta wipes the dust from her face as she falls into thought. Alright, I can't take this anymore. Why are you putting parentheses in front of these every lines? I told you to take inspiration from screenplay narrative structures, not copy their formatting. Fine, I'll fix it, but first, we need to deal with this cow. This cow is clearly tied to the theme of your story, Recoleta. You shouldn't be too hard for you to figure it out.
Let me think.
Her eyes land on the feathered quill. Cowhand, can you give me a hint?
Of course.
But I only answer yes or no. Alright, your cow is it a symbol of heavy responsibility? No. The passage of time? No. Is it something more abstract? Is it what I'm doing right now? Wait, is it what I'm doing right now?
Yes.
Recoleta locks eyes with the cowhand, a triumphant smile beaming on her face.
Ah, literature doesn't offer answers. Rather, it serves to raise questions and open up unexplored realms.
This is about it's about exploration, about possibility, about capturing what can't be defined. Yes, I remember from the chat with Dr. Doras. The riddle itself is the answer, isn't it?
Yes.
You solved the riddle. Now let it take you up where you need to go. The cowhand playfully grins Fade, and he gives a nod. The old man waves his hand, and the two of them dissolves into two crow-shaped fog clouds. The cow carries them upwards, slow and steady. So what's the old man's purpose in this story? He doesn't actually give any new information. I can't really explain it, it's just the way the story goes. We have to speak to the old man before we can talk to the cowhands. I think this section should use some reworking. Wait, maybe it's not so simple. People spend their lives asking about the future, about who they become, only to realize something they have already there during childhood. Recoleta, you buried this line too far late into the story. Hey Junie, how's everything? Welcome, man. How far did you get in the story? Hey Coldplay, welcome in. Welcome in, Raiders. So we're working. Oh, on to part 5. Nice. Yeah, the main event was pretty interesting. So we're working on Recoleta's side story, and we're on. I think we're on part 4 right now. And like somehow the editor is getting sucked into her story. And those are some pretty cute emotes. Did you have that for a long time, or did you get it recently? This section is good, but it needs to be clearer. You have to guide the readers to the meaning. Nice, yeah, because I'm like, it doesn't look familiar, so I'm like, oh, this looks all new. Wait, I'm sick something. Wait, when I look at your emails, you're able to attach the artist to it too? I guess I have to check that out later. I didn't know that before, because I'm looking at the email. It says, oh, artist, Lovely Blues. So I'm not sure if they added that recently too or not. As she finishes her sentence, the cow arrives at their destination. Yep. Hunting reaches out, her fingers touching the radiant core before her. Light surges through her fingertips, and countless images and words emerge in their mind. So beautiful. How did you write it? It is the sum of countless meanings, everything life has to offer. It is sung by someone at the end of their life's journey, yet in truth, it is just a word meaning miracle. The light fades and the two imposters protagonists returns to the warm little room. We're back? Hunting flips through the manuscript again, eyes sharp as they meet Recoleta's. In the dark light, her Her calloused fingers trace the collar of an old knitted sweater. It is a long forgotten relic from her youth, woven in an impractical love for literature. You can come over whenever I'm free on Saturday night. You mean, besides our usual review sections, you personally help me revise my novel in your free time? But let's be clear, this isn't going to be easy. It'll take time, and there's no guarantee it will sell well. But I can guarantee this, an exclusive publishing deal.
Oh, thank you, thank you. What an absolutely wondrous outcome from a pilgrimage to the Templo de la Metáfora.
Clearly, this is going to be a long battle. And Hunting's instincts are really wrong.
I know, Miss Hunting. But it'll be a glorious one.
Is this young writer... Wait, in this young writer, she glimpsed the... Oh, congrats on redeeming Third Coldplay. In this young writer, she glimpsed the lingering embers of a bygone era. So, Stage 5, Distant Quakes. This is confusing. Stage 5, Part 4. Oh, thank you. Yeah, because I think most of my BRB, my starting and my ending is all mostly similar. Just the music is different. Single malt whiskey, no ice, and a splash of water. The perfect spring combination. Wait, companion. This is the life, my friend. Yeah, I was thinking of doing like almost like a circle portal thing, and then you can just see the clips from there. But I'm like, yeah, I'll just keep it as a. I'll have to work on that, and right now just the square thing, or the rectangular, you know, the basic one. I'll stick to my usual matte tea with mint and 2 sugar, please. Hunting sets 2 glasses down on the table. Hold it. Are you old enough to drink? Want to trade mine? It's a 15-year-old scotch. Oh, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, probably that too. But I think I wanted to do it where it's like, you know, like how like water ripples. It's like have it like something like that, and clips behind it. You know, I just realized, there's no need to try everything in life. Yes, I should write that into the story. Huh. Too bitter for you, eh? Guess you're still a kid at heart. Recoleta Flock's sophisticated statement has earned her a teasing remark. I'm joking. Even if you wanted some, I wouldn't let you have it. You know, I don't believe any writers need nicotine or alcohol to fuel their creativity. They're just vices that become reliant on to get through the day. Oh, so you're saying you're not like them? Of course not. Haven't you figured me out by now? If I remember correctly, when we first met, you lit a cigarette. That was an exception. Honestly, you caught me off guard that day, little genius. Why's that? Because that era you're always talking about is already long gone. Around the time that I was born, Latin American literature was at its peak. Every writer passionate about words could feel that strong and long-lasting earthquake. It wasn't just the rise of a single author, either. It was a collective awakening. Everything was urgent, irreversible, and if the soul of an entire continent had suddenly become self-aware and started speaking through literature.
Increíble, Miss Hunting. What a masterful way to put it.
Just a few workplaces topics, that's all. But you can't capture exactly the way I feel about it. When I look back at the writing on that generation, it's like a magma rising from the Earth's core. It pushes through layers of history, violence, and memory, finally breaking the surface, carrying with its ancient sill and blood. Can you imagine how breathtaking, how overwhelming, how intoxicating that is for me? I missed that great earthquake, but I still feel its distant tremors. When I first put pen to paper, the tremors aligned with my very heartbeat.
Surely you understand what I'm saying, right?
Of course I do, Recoleta. That's exactly why I'm pushing you so hard to write something great. Why I refuse to go easy on you. Only a strict coachman can rein in the wild horse. Hunting has come to understand this deeply. She closes her eyes and questions herself in the dark. Forget all the damn professional theory and publishing experience. Hunting, do you think this novel is good enough? It's good, very good. There's a lot to like about it, but... As summer fades into autumn, the air turns crisp and dry. Hunting strikes a flint, effortlessly lighting a fire. The iron pot above it bubbles and steams. The scent of simmering broth makes Recoleta's stomach grumble. That bubbling's a little noisy. Try not to scare off my prey. What? Hey, that's not my fault. When you said camping, I thought you mean a family trip or a picnic in the park, not hauling a dozen kilos of gear over 2 mountains to sit in the middle of nowhere. And now we even have to hunt for food? Recoleta rubs her sore shoulders as she looks at Hunting's in the distance, stalking her target. The hunter's gaze is sharp as a hawk. Her movement precise. She crouches low, slipping in the shadows. A single rustling leaf, a flick of an ear, the prey noticed too late. So what did she catch? The blade strikes, clean, swift, painless. Phew, alright, just need a little prep before it goes in the pot. Don't just stand there, give me a hand. Under Hunting's guidance, Recoleta handles the basic tasks: cleaning, butchering, and blanching. Finally, the meat is added to the pot. Recoleta chews on a leaf, staring at the chunk of meat bobbing in the broth. So this is our dinner. I thought the carrots, beetroot, and celery were supposed to be the whole meal. What kind of life have you been living? By the time she tastes the broth, the sun has set, and the light has faded from between the trees. Sorry, little rabbit. I'll eat you with gratitude. So they caught a rabbit. Ha! That long belongs in a dark fairy tale. Oh, and here's another fun fact for your background notes. This little guy may be called Patagonia here, but it's actually a rodent, a close cousin to sewer rats. So I'm actually eating... Huh? But actually, it's surprisingly good. Her brain and taste bud reaches a swift truce. Relax, it's wild game from the forest. It doesn't get any cleaner than this. When hunger strikes, people always find a way to dress it up in poetic language to justify accepting nature's gift. You're getting sharper, little genius. 2 months pass. By now, Hunting has taught Recoleta to appreciate the beauty of camping. As the night deepens, Recoleta Defies sets up a few trapwire traps around the tent, working alongside Hunting with practical ease. She has to pick quite a few advanced survival skills. It's late autumn now. Tonight will be the coldest one yet.
Oh, I'm fine. I've dealt with much colder nights than this.
She thinks back to the endless nights in Ushuaia, the kind of cold that never quite left her memory. It's a little early to sleep. Want to talk about something? There's plenty we could talk about besides my novel, but I know we'll end up back here anyway. It's like a maze we will forever be circling around and around in. Hunting raises an eyebrow. There's no arguing with that. Alright, actually, I have thought up a new idea for how to publish your book. Oh, let's hear it. I've been turning it over in my head for weeks. Alright, brace yourself. What if I told you your novel would work better as a trilogy, with Tempo della Metaphora as a first volume? It doesn't necessarily mean you have to change the ending, but it'll certainly make a strong case for it. A trilogy, a new ending.
Yes, Mio. I'd never considered that.
My protagonists have never taken a step outside their own story, let alone leap headfirst into a new one. Then give it a try. Your characters already exist vividly in their world. All they need is a way to cross the barrier into a new one. A motorcycle, a carriage, even a limping old mule will do, don't you think? We need to think bigger, beyond the bestseller list. This is about shaking the entire literary world. Let them embark on a new adventure. Recoleta, just like the one you told me about, your journey to the end of the world. All you need to do is throw in a murder case. Give a cowboy a reason to stumble into a mystery, and before you know it, he's a private detective. Recoleta breeze quickens as Hunting's rapid fire pitch. Wait, Hunting, slow down. I don't even have the first novel ending figured out yet. Oh, of course, I'm getting overexcited. Take your time, Recoleta. All great writers need time to think, to struggle through their own doubts. I think I should at least finish the first novel ending before I start worrying about the next. That's fair, but it is the harder route. You have to be careful. Your ending needs to be deliberate, precise, because once it's published, there's no going back. And I don't want you to write... but I don't want you to write like you're dancing with shackles on. Hunting oils her knife to keep it from rustling. She goes on saying something, but under the dim glow of the camping lantern, she turns to see Recoleta already fast asleep in her sleeping bag. Never mind, you young people sleep like armadillos in winter. Make me jealous. Good night, little genius. She passed out. It might was a food coma, maybe. It really all comes back to the trilogy. If a trilogy is in fact necessary, of course I'm willing to write 2 more novels, but when I actually try to structure them, I realize it's incredible and difficult. Maybe try structuring like the good, the bad, and the ugly with a clear climax to the end, to the action. I get what you mean, but last month you told me the story shouldn't end after the old man and the cowhand leaves. What do you mean by that? Exactly what I said. Your protagonist needs to actually bring the story to an end, but not entirely. But they already took the temple's core, didn't they? Of course, but you need to look... Wait, but you need a hook after that. A reason for them to choose to continue. Picture this. They took that beautiful little artifact and started heading back. Then one of them felt a irresistible urge. Hey, why don't you see what's behind there? The other felt uneasy. I'm telling you, we should just leave. No, we have to go see what's back there. The cowboy shrugs off the coachman's grip and bolted forward. Then a few moments later, the cowboy turns back, his eyes filled with despair. What did you see? The cowboy says nothing. So the coachman followed him to the back. Wait. So the coachman followed him to the back of the stone platform and found a sea of skeletons. Where did all these skeletons come from? I don't want to write a massacre into my story. Hear me out. What if they realized that among all these skeletons, there were only two distinct builds? That of two adult males.
Wait, hold on a second. I'm not sure I follow.
Their thoughts are like two ferrule wires, unable to connect. For the first time, Recoleta finds herself struggling to follow Hunting's reasoning. Are we at the puzzle part now? Okay. Alright, so in this fight, the literary demon has gained a dangerous skill effect. Proceed with caution. I wasn't paying attention. Wait, was this tree or this tree? Ah. Alright, we did it. Alright, so there's two more puzzle ones. Charging the windmill. Recoleta leans against the rusted railing of her apartment rooftop, looking out over the blurred cityscape. Below, scarp streetlight flickers, and a distant train whistle echoes from afar. I keep revising and revising it, but I can't find the right way to write the final sentence. It's been a whole week. Will I ever be able to write a good proper ending?
No, Recoleta. You can't just falter at the first obstacle.
This is part of the process. If you want to be a published writer, you have to push through. Alright, focus on the revision. No more overthinking. Let's start with Hunting's suggestion and see where it leads. The character needs to continue their journey. But I don't understand. The cowboy went home just to search for a place to belong. I want them to get lost, to stumble forward blindly. Just like we do in real life. To find meaning not in reaching their destination, but in the search itself. Because that is a reality. How could this happen? I was haunted by the ending of the rise and fall of sanity for years. And now, here I am, haunted by an ending all over again.
Have I not grown at all since then? Have I tried so hard all this time, only to get stuck in silent stagnation all over again?
Can't I grow like so many protagonists with a character arc? Her shadow stretches long across the rooftop tile. Then, a cold breeze brushes from behind. You mean the protagonists are ghosts, trapped in an endless cycle of death and rebirth? Push it further. Make it something more concrete. Easier to grasp. They suffered through countless loops, died over and over again, and only now, in this cycle, have they finally uncovered the truth. Also, that's where she gets the idea of the two adult skeletons. Good, but that's just a foundation. We should layer in some literature element. Recoleta blinks as she attempts to keep up with Hunting's train of thought. The two crows have stood watch for centuries. They have their own purpose. They shouldn't just be a plot device. They can be symbolic. What if they represent the enslaved souls of the protagonists from the previous cycles? Wait, no. That idea needs refining. Souls? Or overused in fiction. We need something fleshier. Recoleta, any thoughts? She thinks hard, but nothing comes to her. Recoleta feels her words getting stuck in her throat. If it's your suggestion, then do I have to change it this way? It's getting late. Let's leave it at that for now, for today. Hunting noticed something is off. She walks Recoleta to the door, her breath fogging in the cold air. Don't push yourself too hard, Recoleta. Remember, first, we're writing a novel, not a screenplay. Second, there's a lot we can learn from cinematic visual storytelling. Third, we need to make sure every reader can follow the story. Always keep those 3 points in mind. I'll finish it, Miss Hunting. I'll figure out the ending. Be careful on your way back. Stay on the well-lit streets. Got it. See you next week. A pen scratches against paper, leaving behind hurried scrolls of ink. So the cowboy and the coachman seize their remains, evidence of an endless cycle and their endless deaths, and sink into despair. That's it, right? If that's the case, what does it all mean? Shadows, homes, distant echoes, none of them seem to connect. Letting go of past burdens and making peace with oneself. Sure, that works, but what about the old man and the cowhand? The struggles of old age and the origin of childhood. If reconciled were that simple, why would all the way back home in the first place? It doesn't add up. Recoleta paces back and forth on the rooftop. No. Recoleta, you can't think like that. You already wasted too much time talking to the moon. Don't just think about it. Pick up the damn pen. Her restless hand grips the rustling railing, making it groan under the pressure.
Take up your pen, Recoleta.
Remember, that's fire. That hunger to write. You have to prove you're not weak. Get back to your room, sit at the cursed desk, and write that ending. Hurried footsteps echoes down the stairwell. Another long night has begun. We're at the cafe. As dawn rises, the sky turns pale as the cafe welcomes its first customer. We're not open yet. Oh, Recoleta. Haven't seen you in a while. Did you quit? Hey Gonzalez, as you can see, I'm working on a novel. Recoleta lifts the notebook and a thick stack of papers that are tucked behind her arm. Can I have black coffee? 2 sugars, no milk, thanks. Of course, I'll sneak you in a donut too. Just don't tell the boss. Thanks, Gonzalez. By the way, since the place is empty, would you like to take a look at my novel?
Oh dear.
You're gonna hit me with another one of your uncomprehendable metaphors, aren't you? No, trust me. This time it's different. I got an editor now. She's given me some excellent advice. I'm writing a trilogy, actually, but I just finished the first novel.
Sounds great.
Alright, future bestseller. Gonzalez pastes to coffee and donut on the counter before leaning against the register and opening up the notebook. By the time the sky has fully brightened, his finger lingers on the last page of the long while before he finally closes the manuscript.
That's awesome.
So this time, it's a venture about escaping a temple. This isn't anything like you've written before. Why the shift in style? That's not important. Tell me, is it good?
That's surprising.
I never read anything like it. It's exciting and eerie. That's for sure. It's like watching a psychedelic movie or something.
Great.
Finding a pile of your own corpse, realizing the core is a secret, then becoming a detective wandering the wilderness. It's really great. But don't you think the cowboy and the coachman never truly get the ending they deserve?
Why?
They set out once more to uncover the secret of the ageless.
Here's the piece.
Nothing is wrong with a journey of discovery. I mean, Don Quixote is a night adventure too, isn't it? And everything said that's a classic. Don Quixote isn't just a silly man on a bony horse fighting windmills. That story makes people stop and think. It's something they keep coming back to.
That's right.
You got your character staring at the mountain of their own corpse. I'm pretty sure that's enough to get people thinking for a while. Haha, you got a point. Thanks for humoring me for the donut. Maybe I'm not as unsure as I thought. Unsure? The book's already finished, isn't it? Yes, but I've been stuck on where to take the second novel for weeks now. My mind's so empty, it's like a barren desert in there. No way, you're Recoleta. Your ideas come faster than you can write them down. Ah, wait, I get it. I guess you put it all into the novel, right? But I'm not gonna pretend I understand all that fancy literature talk you're always about. But if all you worry about is whether something is literature or not, you might forget why you started writing in the first place. Why I started writing.
Why did I start this story in the first place?
Gonzalez's voice fades, blending into clicking cups and hushed conversation in the cafe. Recoleta stares at the manuscript. Is the answer buried somewhere between the lines? We'll see. Since my last visit, how many Saturdays have I missed? It's Saturday again. What time is it? Forget it. It doesn't matter as long as I write something good. She turns over, burying her face in the couch cushion. Something good. What have I been writing these past few weeks?
Look at this mess. Endless, meandering descriptions, broken dialogues, characters wandering around without purpose. It's a complete joke.
Let's go ask Miss Hunting, Recoleta. Didn't you say she was your Maxwell Perkins? So I have some nuggets of wisdom for you. Maybe tonight I can finally pin down the outline of Chapter 2. I wonder if Miss Hunting has any more concrete suggestions. Yes, maybe, just maybe, we can solve everything tonight. But first, let me calm my mind before heading out.
Maybe I just need a little siesta.
As she drifts off, fragment of chaotic dreams claws at her mind. By the time everything settled into silence, the room has been nearly entirely swallowed by darkness. Hmm. Okay. Success! Alright. Laberinto de Sambolas. I fell asleep? Wait, what time is it? I have to go see Miss Hunting. In the forest, the tree sways in perfect rhythm. Their movements are so eerie, humans, that they almost feel choreographed.
I know this dance. It's a tango.
She has once seen this fury dance before. Whoever behind those trees, come out. I know you're watching me. At last, you have returned, Recoleta. We waited a century to see you once more. Oh, wait, is this her characters? Who are you? Why are you hiding in the shadows? Step forward so I can see your face. Otherwise, don't blame me if I'm a little curt. There's no face to see, child. I am but a shadow, a reflection cast from a depth of your mind. The worry-clouded voice becomes clearer. A reflection of my mind? You mean I'm dreaming? Yes, this is your inner world. An intricate labyrinth of symbols built by your very self. Labyrinth of symbols? That's a nice name. Kinda like temple Templo de la Metáfora. Same kind of thing. Thanks, stranger. I think I found the name for chapter 2. But wait, you're saying these swaying ghostly trees are all part of the greater symbol? Sharp as ever, each tree here represents a symbol you once carefully cultivated. What's wrong with them? Don't tell me they're actually dancing. Not long ago, this labyrinth fell in disorder. Now every tree is caught in this restless, unsteady sway. This is the source of your insomnia. You waited here just to tell me this? I'm here to guard over the furthest reach of the north. This place is so cold and indifferent that it numbs all who enters. And you have touched the boundary I watched over. I'm too tired, I must leave. Goodbye, Recoleta, and heed my final advice. Do not believe a word it says. Advice? Who? It? The tortoise walks into the flame without hesitation. It is devoured.
I understand you all too well. I also threw myself into the fire without a moment's hesitation.
Recoleta speaks to herself, a sadness creeping over her. She never got the chance to say goodbye, but now she has to move forward, or she'll be trapped in the labyrinth forever. Whoever's hiding behind those rocks, come out! The Taurus of the North has already told me the truth. Now tell me, what do you represent? Ah, you finally arrived, child. For an entire century, the East has remained untouched. What is it you have to face out there? The voice is steady, rich in quiet powers. That has nothing to do with you. Oh, my dear, it has everything to do with me, with us. You write and rewrite and rewrite and your rewrites. But it's never quite right, is it? You descended into an endless cycle of revisions. Remember this, child. The word you cut away never truly disappears. They become a part of you, flowing through your hands and onto the page of your next work. Great stories are born from relentless revisions. That is the fate of the writer. But readers will never see the part I erase. They only exist in my mind. Torture me alone.
What's the point of it all?
But that doesn't diminish the value of every phrase, every word, every syllable, whether or not they serve a plot. Then tell me, why must they be erased? Isn't it because I put too much in the individual sentence and don't consider their connection into the story? That is no matter, child. What matters is you're afraid you are the one who killed the cattle. Are you not? But you simply set them free. Do you remember now? In the world you created, the cowhen has no need to herd, and the cattle have no need to graze. You provide them the freedom to chase the stars. Even if my cowboy becomes a detective, even if he's doomed to walk the tragic path, is that something I have to accept? Of course, to write is to leave the trace of life in the heart of the readers. Tale of beauty, joy, and miracles must also carry scars of trauma and conflict. For a writer, not to suffer the same scars as the reader would be unjust. No, I don't believe you.
You really think that will make me feel better?
I told myself the same thing 1,000 times before, and in the end, it never meant anything. The old voice hesitates. There's a ting of realization behind it. Well, words have no power. Only experience can convince a person. I will leave this place as you wish. At the very least, heed this advice. If ever you are to reach the southern forests, do not believe a single word it says. Remember that, child. What's got you so worn down, Ray? A bright, playful child's voice thirsts through the dim forest light, as heart-laden as a fairy in a storybook. Who are you? Look around you, Ray. Isn't this forest so beautiful? We spent so many dreamy summers in this little garden of Eden. But it's been so long since you come to see me. The girl's voice falters, tinged with unmistakable sadness.
We were friends? Oh my, that's right. How could I have forgotten you?
A distant sense of nostalgia surges through her, a memory of the childhood companion she once knew so well. Yes, how could she have forgotten her? What? What are you doing here? Don't tell me you've forgotten, Ray. We used to sit under the trees together in the summer and watch the cloud rolls over the hills in the distance. You wrote a poem about it, remember? The clouds are like cotton candy, and I will swallow them whole. You gave it to me. I wrote something that childish? That's kinda cute. Oh, how I miss you, Recoleta. My best friend, my little panda cub, my green-eyed knight. The sheer sincerity in her voice sends a tremor through Recoleta.
It's been so long. I've missed you so much.
Come out from behind the fireflies, my friend. Let me see you. You've grown up, haven't you? Just like I have. You've been lost in your work for so long. I feel sad for you, but I can't help you. You've forgotten so much, Ray. So many things that were pure and beautiful. You had such a perspective and sensitive soul. The poems you wrote for me were so delicate and eternal. Has the world of reality weighed so heavy on you? If you're tired, then let's play in the forest for a while, shall we? Just until you're ready to leave. Will you stay with me, best friends?
Yes, I'd love to.
Reality?
The jarring sensation clears Recoleta's mind. She shakes her head, her green eyes flashing as with a sudden sharpness. She's like a child walking from a long dream, realizing her imaginary friends never truly exist. Stop playing games, liar. I already met two of your companions. Tell me, what do you use the symbol of? Oh, no, I'm not a liar. How could you say that, Ray? You're breaking my heart. You don't even remember the first time you picked up a pen, do you? All these years of waiting, only to be met by a cold-blooded executioner. If you're truly this cruel, this heartless, then I won't stay here any longer. Goodbye.
Goodbye then.
Recoleta shakes her head as she tries to block out the sorrowful girl's voice. She clenches her teeth just as a symbol. She never had a friend like that. I won't believe a word. I have to find a way out. I have to escape. And now we're heading to the north. Oh no, we're still in the south. Through all the pain and confusion, Recoleta stumbles forward. The crunch of fallen leaves and snapping off branches echoing beneath the steps. But under the siege of exhaustion, she collapses. As she lies on the damp earth, her head throbbing, she closes her eyes. When she raises her head again, a pitch-dark cave stands before her. From the depths of the darkness comes a voice, warped and deranged, neither male nor female. At last we meet, our most significant writer. Welcome to the Southern Forest. My three dear friends, I hear, have spoken quite a bit of ill about me. No. I won't listen to you. You. All of you are liars. This is a paradox, a chaotic Pandora box. If the others lied, then surely I am the one to tell the truth. Who is it who truly deceived you? You're the last one, aren't you? What exactly do you represent? I am the black hole in your heart, that shadowy place where all your desires fester. Anxiety is a poison. It seeps into your words, warping their taste. Why do you speak like that? It's unbearable. I can smell it, the stench of doubt laced in your hurried breath. You are proud, self-absorbed, granuse writer. Listen to yourself. Go back. Go back to where you belong. Damn it, I don't have time for this. I have to go back. Recoleta pushes herself up, the pain in her head gone, her body brimming with energy. Then, she freezes in confusion. For someone like you, growth may have very well be a crime. You should have been nothing but a beast of literature, untamed, unyielding. I have to go back, but to where? What am I going back for again? You will never escape from that sorrowful, secretive, ceaselessness murmuring scene. Literature is not merely for a refuge for kindness and warmth. It is also a sanctuary for resentment and spite. Why do I have to go back?
I belong to the fictional world. I am fiction.
Our mission is complete. This symbolic labyrinth is now entirely in your hands. Farewell. The labyrinth falls into an irreversible collapse. Recoleta's eyes are vacant. A writer must have relentless desire. A writer must have enduring resilience. A writer must have an innate perspective. A writer must have an unshakable arrogance. To be continued. Fable of Failure. Hunting. We've been talking for nearly an hour now. I need a conclusion. So far this year, the HA Publishing House hasn't had a single book break into the top 3 bestsellers. That's an undeniable fact. Of course, Director. I've been in close contact with several authors and have already prepared multiple commercial plans. The new drafts will be submitted soon. I heard these words far too many times, Hunting. The market's changing too fast, and the reader's tastes are unpredictable. I think we need to explore a new direction. I firmly believe that literature is our way forward, Director.
Here's the case.
Literature was indeed once our major selling point, but now, slogans like the vanguard of the literature revival and the new generation's petrol-perama has been overused.
Listen.
I need to give the investors a clear conclusion before the equation at the end of the year. I understand, Director.
Long time no see, Miss Hunting. How have you been?
Recoleta, where have you been? I asked after you at the cafe, but no one knew your address. They said that you barely seen you since you quit. Yes. I'm sorry for missing so many appointments, but please believe me, I had to take the time to reconstruct the symbolic forest labyrinth. Forest? What forest? More importantly, have you finished your outline of Chapter 2? Let me remind you that this month... No, there's no need for an outline. The symbolic forest is the name of Chapter 2. I already completed it. She pulls a thick manuscript from under her cloak. Fortunately, it is mostly untouched by the rain. A relieved smile comes across Hunting's face. This is probably the best news I had all month. You're almost writing like a professional author now, Recoleta. Alright, then, let me take a look. How did our cowboy and coachman travel from the temple to the forest? Hunting flips through the first page of the manuscript. Silence hushes over them. The soft scratch of a pencil, the rustling of pages, the gentle patter of rain. A sharp snap as the pencil lead breaks. A long, deliberate inhale. A look of utter disappointment. This is what you're submitting? I wrote it with all my heart. Recoleta, do you know what this is? Hunting stands up, gathering the manuscript nearly together, and pushes it towards Recoleta. A scorned, lifeless forest, desolate, empty. There's nothing here. You let me down, Recoleta. Freedom of expression does not equal reckless indulgence. You repeated every mistake I pointed out in your last manuscript. Your world is totally unwelcoming. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. The burnt. Hunter's voice grows distant as countless flashing fragments emerges. Flashes of polite, yet firmly rejecting letters. Flashes of face filled with prejudice and indifference. Flashes of scenes repeated over and over again, only one wounding her heart a little more.
Why should I seek their approval?
I've never truly been accepted by those who view literature with prejudice and a misunderstanding. Enough. That's your problem to deal with. It's not my place to get involved. But I can't help you publish this kind of literature. It's totally self-indulgent. Of course, you're free to ignore my advice. You are the writer after all. I'm just an editor. Recoleta feels dizzy, a named sense of conflicting taking over her. Outside, the sky is covered in dense, impenetrable clouds, and the torrented rain is about to engulf the city. Without a word, she grabs her manuscript, stands up, and runs out of the office. As Recoleta runs through the rain, it gradually extinguishes the flame of defiance burning within her. As rationality returns, questions begin to claw at her. Following the flow of instant, avoiding self-examination, that's my current state of writing. Well, of course, I know this isn't exactly professional writing. But Recoleta wipes the rain from her forehead with her sleeve. She leans against the wall and buries her head tightly in her arms. The cool air is quickly replaced by scorching heat, the raindrops becoming sweat, her clothes is drying instantly. She and her words return to her original state, like a blank page untouched by ink. All the structures drawn under guidance, all the carefully added embellishment, now crumbles to dust. This desert, it looks familiar. Wait, isn't this the desert by the town of Alma-Fitino? No, I tore that place apart. I can't possibly be back here, back to this wasteland.
What could be such a wasteland? To my mind, it is 10 times more remarkable than anywhere else in the world.
A shadow suddenly blocks the sun. Recoleta looks up.
Who are you? Are you me?
No, that's not right. What are the symbols of?
I'm not a symbol at all. I'm the gaucho rider of 1975, the legendary cowgirl of Sonora, Recoleta.
You're Recoleta? Then who am I? We exist in thousands of forms across endless pages. The fates we present to readers are limitless.
After that, you chose to return to reality, didn't you? But I chose to stay here, in the realm of fiction.
What are you doing here?
I don't have time to sit around and chat. My comrades need rescuing. I must rally our people, unite our strength to turn these ruins into a library.
Because the library is the greatest metaphor of mankind.
Will you stand with me and help write the next chapter of our cause?
You really are me. I can't think of anyone else who would speak such nonsense.
Come on, Recoleta, get moving.
Cross the silent desert, follow the Gashanak River to its source, and find a way through the cave dweller settlement. In 9 or 10 nights, the runic Goria will appear. And there, an important comment awaits our rescue. Alright, but how do you prove we'll find the so-called ruins? The Gaucho rider pulls out a rusty badge.
See this? It's my badge of honor.
There was no grand ceremony when it awarded to me. In fact, there was no official honor from it. But still, it is an irreplaceable symbol, the undeniable proof that we'll find the Ruina Gloriosas. It's beautiful. How did you get it?
What happened to you? You really aren't anything like me anymore. Listen to your heart. There's something missing, isn't there? Blessed me, blessed me. My beating heart does drum. The fervent words of visceral realism. Within my chest they thump.
Isn't that the poem you wrote?
Well, you may have forgotten much, but none of that matters now. A new adventure lies before us. And should we fail, let us fail spectacularly.
Come on, Recoleta, get moving. Recoleta takes her own hand. With a strange feeling like curling up under a blanket in winter, she returns to that comfortable place. Optimism, reckless, and autonomous writer, kissing the literature explosion era.
Failure doesn't diminish the glory of the journey.
At the very least, I'll earn a badge of honor, just like hers. Yes, and my novel will be that badge.
Let me see. How many more do we have? We have so we have 11, 12, and 13. So one more puzzle and two more story. So meaningless acts. Spring has come, bringing in renewed energy with it. Recoleta, her heartbeat thumping in her ear, steps into the publishing house building. She carries no manuscript, only a letter, one barely large enough to contain a single long poem. Alright, just drop off the letter and it's all over. After taking a deep breath, she slips the envelope into a manuscript submission mailbox and turns towards the exit.
Thank you, Miss Hunting. And I'm sorry.
Whether to thank me or apologize, you should say it in person, Recoleta. Recoleta's hand, reaching towards the door's handle, freezes. Following the rustle of the envelope being opened, Hunting's voice echoes from behind. Miss Hunting! Recoleta watches as Hunting slowly approaches. Under the overhead lights, she can barely make out Hunting's face. I'm sorry. Do you remember the first 3 questions you asked me? I think I finally know the answer. The build-up to this answer is too long. Long enough for the reader to nearly forget the question. He returns home because, to him, it's home. He meets the cowhand because he happens to be tending cattle. The character knows things the author doesn't because this is the cowboy story. He has lived for many more years than the author has. Of course, these are your characters. Your unique style shapes them, making them one of a kind. I never truly understand the purpose behind every sentence I write. They flow from my pen, word by word, driven by the irresistible instinctive current. And I am a business hunter who works for our profit, a bookseller who has abandoned her instinct. I am clueless bystander by the riverbanks. I can glimpse the vitality of river, but I cannot question the purpose of each ripple. If you finally grasp its vitality, why should I question the purpose of each ripple? Miss Hunting, you have taught me so much, but I will never become the kind of writer you envision. And you, I see an old sweater I once knitted, a glorious illusion. Only now do I fully understand myself. My writing exists to follow a great era, to recreate a grand adventure. I used to fantasize that the distant tremors will once again shake my heart through your words. My writing exists to follow my selfish desire. And this unresisting fancy is also my selfless desire. I imagine myself living like a poet, romantic hopelessly, rebelling recklessly, indifferent to fame. You should imagine yourself living purely, happily, like a true poet. Bless me, my beating heart does drum the farewell words of ritual rhythm within my chest they thump. Grow wildly, cast aside the damned pursuit of fame, and live recklessly. And write. It's been an honor to know you, Recoleta. A familiar sitting, but the position has shifted. Recoleta leans back at the editor's chair while Hunting sits upright on the other side of the desk. Hey Master Gord, thanks for the Prime sub. How's your day? What have you been doing? That's good. Hopefully work's treating you good. So we're just finishing up Recoleta's story. We've already finished the main event. We finished the antidote, which is Betty's story. And we're doing this one before the next one pops up in 2 days. Is this a metaphor for seeing things from a different perspective of empathy? We have 2 more parts left anyway. So here, this one, I think a puzzle next one, and then the final finale, the finish. So we'll see how it is. I think we have another hopefully another 40 minutes. No, I just sat for too long and my back hurts. A moment of humor brings a smile to both their faces, melting the slightly icy moment between them. Oh, you're welcome.
I realize now that I never really understood you, Miss Hunting. Nor did I really try to.
Me too. I never really tried to understand what you truly thought, so we're even. But if you listen, I'll tell you a story. A story about a young woman born during the literature explosion era. A faint tremor flickers in Hunting's eyes. Recoleta can sense the subtle change in her. After graduating from the University of La Plaza Literature Department, the young woman declined her professor's invitation to pursue further studies and chose to enter the publishing industry instead. In her handwritten letter, she wrote, Professor Carlos, I want to be a Maxwell Perkins of Latin America.
Why would she want to be an editor when everyone else at that time was striving to be a writer?
This world had never been short of writers and poets, but these geniuses need someone to pass on their inspiration.
She did become a great editor, didn't she? Because she's you.
No, she didn't become a great editor. He became a shrewd merchant. You know, I always worried that I would distort your work. Maybe the first version was already the best. Who could really say? This is an entire dilemma, an ultimate question of the editor. It haunts me at night. In those moments, I feel like I'm the prey. Don't get me wrong. I still think it's great when the books I edit are adapted into films, but I can't forget what they begin as literature. Literature is internal. It's irreplaceable. Words rush into Recoleta's mind. Discussion about revision, debates about literature, insights in life. They wash over like a rushing river.
I have an idea. A good one, I promise.
Even though I've given up on publishing my novel, I promise you I will finish it.
Would you help me finish my novel? Not as an editor, but as a friend?
Recoleta knows this might be a meaningless act. Of course, it's a deal. It will be my honor, Recoleta. Let's complete this work together. Yes, as friends, as literal companions, as people following their own desire. Hunting knows this choice comes with an unnamed courage, and she chose to believe in literature. In fact, in acts that seem meaningless. Just like Recoleta. Let's see if I can have a good memory for this next part. Completed in 25 rounds. Okay, so off for... Okay. Don't take my cards. Wait, so this one. These are the next two. Wait. Let's take that one too. Alright. Oh, they got me. I don't remember now. Oh, nope. I messed up again. Alright, I see. Yeah, we won! Last stage, Gloriosas. On the pitch black night, Recoleta sees no one. Why am I back in the desert? Where did hunting go?
You've drunk the poisoned wine, Recoleta. A treacherous scheme of the cave dwellers.
It's the venom of the Ouroboros fang, severing the cause and effect, leading us to the Ruinas Gloriosas. In her mind, her own voice echoes. They tried to stop us, but fortunately, they didn't know that we were one and the same. I left Directrices, the metaphor in your notebook. It will lead you to the final ending.
But why? Why did you sacrifice yourself? Haven't you longed to see the victory of our great movement?
No more questions. It was a necessary sacrifice.
I did it for us. Now go. Save our comrades and see this journey through to the very end.
I understand now. The comrade you're talking about is hunting, isn't it? I need to find the runic Gloriosas and free her. Recoleta snaps back to reality, pushes herself to her feet, and strides forward with determination.
A forgotten river runs, its course to all untold. At the source of the Gnostic river, in shrouded darkness laid, within that mirror, the cave dweller hides, his ancient face displayed.
So I just need to follow this river, right? Phew, what a long night. Looks like I finally found the source of the Genes River. And now, there is no other path forward. Wait, could it be? Within the mirror, Recoleta gazes at the black surface of the water. She pinches her nose shut and deeps in. Recoleta feels herself sliding downwards through a cave, yet there is no sense of wetness or flowing water. This is actually kind of fun. She lands in a misty, damp cavern.
Tread lightly. Do not disturb those shadowed tribal dwellers.
Their language is as yielding as stone. They gaze deep as caverns. The cave dwellers, are they those figures wandering around? Can they really see me? Their eyes look completely vacant. Maybe they don't need to hide at all. Grant me immortality. Grant me glory.
Stay away from me!
Recoleta takes off running, ignoring everything as she sprints forward. After passing through countless identical caves, Recoleta finally stops to listen. No footsteps, only the sound of impeccable underground winds. Phew, finally lost them. That wasn't so bad.
The 9th and 10th time darkness falls, Las Ruinas Gloriosas shall appear to mark the journey's end.
In ruin, glory, and radiance clear. So, am I supposed to sleep down here for over a week to unlock the next puzzle? Wait, I see. This is a puzzle too. This place is still lit, so to make darkness fall, I need to extinguish all these blazers. The flames instantly goes out as it's responding directly to Recoleta's thoughts. Alright, one more. On to the next cave. If my count is right, this should be the 10th cave. There's no path ahead, only a thick gray mist. To mark the journey end, so that mist must be it. I see. I need to complete the 9th and 10th time to reach the 10th night. But 9th and 10th, what does that even mean? What if I extinguish the last fire in the 10th cave? Recoleta sits cross-legged, staring at the final brazier. After a long pause, she suddenly laughs, then picks up the brazier with both hands.
It must be this brazier. It marks the boundary between the 9th cave and the 10th.
Wow, these metaphors or symbols are really hard to understand. I think I finally get why people struggle with my novels. With all her strength, she hurls the flame into the mist.
Go! Bring forth the light!
The mist scatters. Ahead, 4 enormous phantom looms. Behind them, she barely makes out the shackled figure in the darkness.
Miss Hunting, are you alright?
Hunting seems to be speaking, but an unseen barrier muffles her voice. I tried to stop you, but you still came. Child, why must you seek the secret of the ageless? Executioner, your cruelty has broken my heart. How amusing, I never thought you'd make it here. Countless voices echoes in the ruins, mocking her powerlessness. And 4 voices rise in unison, forming a harmony.
Step aside. I must rescue my comrade.
Recoleta faces the phantom symbol like a knight. Her pen wields like a sword. Clearly, this battle isn't about strength. You are not the Minotaur guarding the labyrinth. You are mere objects. Symbols created to hinder me.
Las Ruinas Gloriosas. The answer's in the name, right?
Clever little writer, what blocks your path is nothing but imaginary chains. With the mere flick of your pen, you may sever them. It is unbelievable simple. Recoleta lunges forward with her sword. In the darkness, the sound of chains snapping rings out. But before long, more chains, newborn and endless, emerge from the abyss.
What's going on?
Recoleta slashes over and over again through the chains, but her efforts is in vain. Exhausted, she collapses to the ground. A flickering shadow catches the corner of her eye. It's Hunting, off in the distance. What is she doing? Hunting has abandoned word. She raised both hands above her head, outlining a rectangle. A rectangle? What's that supposed to mean? Hunting makes a motion as if embracing something, tracing the shape of the rectangle repeatedly in the air. A pillar. Wait. The pillar from before.
It's the pillar del Templo de la Metáfora. The MacGuffin.
In crooked stories, it is almost always the necklace. Those quoted words strike Recoleta like lightning in a spring storm. Yes, a necklace. A chain. Just like the Templo de la Metáfora, the chains are meaningless. I need to move past them and face the core of Runic Glorious head on. Countless chains bind and drag Recoleta to the ground. Under the weight, she covers her ears, struggling as she steps into the 4 symbols. East, west, south, north. Recoleta swings her sword in all 4 directions. With each strike, she bears the weight of 1,000 chains. The twisted laughter fades, exhausted and relinquished, washes over her as she collapses to the ground. Her eyelids feels unbearable heavy. Hunting voices grows distant. The cobble grazes out the window in the prairie, the fresh green of spring filling her with an almost dreamlike sense of renewal. My head hurts a little. Maybe I slept too long.
Those adventures seem hazy now.
It's alright. You already written our adventures into a novel. We escaped the Templo de la Metáfora, wandering for ages in the symbolic forest, and in the end, you saved me in the ruined Glorious. The cowboy feels as if she's in a dream, but she knows the coachman is right. Those images slowly resurface in her mind. Alright, and my novel, is it finished? Have you forgotten? We wrote an eternal masterpiece and even won a significant literature award.
Where are we going?
We're heading home. Back to Buenos Aires, back to the HP Publishing House for a grand award ceremony. And then, our story will come to an end. The cowboy chuckles softly. She waves at the tall figure before her. She's free! As the carriage jolted forward, she throws open the door and leaps into the golden light of the sun.
Goodbye, Miss Hunting. Publishing novels, receiving awards. None of that matters to me anymore. There's a whole beautiful world before me. Shouldn't I live like a poet and go out and experience its wonders under the glorious radiance of Apollo? Shouldn't I run free, feeling the grass and earth between my toes? After all, the story is far from over.
Behind her, the coachman, Hunting, watches, relief and longing coloring her face. She waves at the soaring figure of freedom. You're as careless as ever, Recoleta. You forgot that, in this story, you're supposed to call me Coachman. But none of that matters now. Go, Recoleta. Like an invincible warrior, like a falcon soaring free, like a fearless Goncho knight, go forth and conquer the boundless Pampas plains. Good luck, rebellion, nameless writer who scores fame and disregards all else.
Blessed me. My beating heart does drum. The fervent words of visceral realism within my chest they thump. Come on home, spirits of the past.
There's more to it. The season cycles once more, and a new winter arrives. Hunting sits at her desk, warming her hands with a cup of coffee as she flips through the manuscript. You need to dissect the salesman's psychology more deeply. Everything else is fine. If we were lucky, it might be published before spring. Huh? In the past, you would have said no one cares about a retired salesman story. True, but things have changed, just like Gregory Samuelus in the Metamorphosis. You need to write as well as Kafka, Tommy.
May I ask?
What made you leave such a high-paying job to start your own publishing house? That's a secret. A secret which has a little something to do with you.
Oh,
You mean my novel moved you that much? A knock at the door interrupts the writer.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to intrude, Director. We received a package, an anonymous novel addressed to you. Let me take a look. The employee unwraps the packaging and gently places a thin booklet on the desk. Ruinas, Gloriosas, the Directrices of Metáforas by Recoleta.
That's...
So, this book is dedicated to Maria Hunting, an editor, a teacher, a friend, and a brave and honest person. Miss Hunting, are you alright? Phew. She put the dedication in the prefix. Looks like she still remembers my advice. Dedicated to the writers of history, those remarkable distant stars, dedicated to the editors of history, the unsung genius who captured billions, dedicated to you who are watching now, the wonderful players, viewers, and readers. And that's the end of the story. I think we unlocked everything. Claymore. Wait, play. Wait, what? What's this? What is that? Do I have Oh, there it is. It's a matching game. Alright, let's see if I remember this one. Okay. Oh, I didn't pay attention. Oh. Oh, I got it right! Aw, wrong. Oh, there's moves that damage yourself too? So, I don't want to pick that one. Welcome in. How's everything? How was your stream? What retro game were you playing? Ian there, welcome in. Welcome in, Raiders. Oh, it's using wrong stuff. Hey, Biscuit. Oh, wait. Got it.
I'm in danger!
So we've just finished Recoleta story. So we're just doing this last one. I saw chain. Butterfly, butterfly. Nope. So what virtual game were you playing, guys? Oh. No, this is. This is a woman. We're playing Reverse 99, but we're doing the infinite their mini game thing. Wait, did it? All right. All right, it's a close game. They have 3 more HP left. What's that do? Recover 2 HP. Alright, so we complete it. Alright, we played it once. I'm not sure if we're supposed to unlock anything or not. Try one more time. Okay. Okay. Nice. Damage himself. No! Hmm. There's 1 HP left. Okay. We're finished. Okay. Success. I'm not sure if that unlocks anything though. Alright, so we got everything here. We did the survey.